It's really got to be drilled.
He's got him on his back.
When we talk about a low single leg,
lightning fast.
In this video, we're going to take a look at Mesenbrink's snaps, counterattacks, some short offense options he has, and a little bit of his defense. Got some really good snaps, ear snap and wrist snap. His counterattacks typically are hustle to the right and then adjust to what happens. His defense is pretty non-traditional. When guys get to his legs, he doesn't tend to sprawl a lot. We'll scramble through a ton of positions and look for his scores there. So let's get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So here's one of the snaps you'll see Mesenbrink do a lot of. He follows it up pretty well normally. A lot to get opponent off balance because he has heavy pressure. He's able to snap a lot, but we're going to see this kind of collar tie, ear snap type motion. So he's collar tie, other guy's over tie, and we'll see him drop his head or ear toward his own collar tie as he snaps with this hand as well. Alright. And here he's got options to follow up short offense, which we're going to take a look at later. But this is one of the snap options you'll see him use pretty consistently. Alright, and here he kind of has the option to do it again, but instead decides to follow it up with an attack. It's really, really powerful snap, man. He's one of the best I've seen at it. Aliyev from Azerbaijan, I think, is also really good at it. So we see drops his ear over, kind of clears his guy's hand, and snaps with his collar tie at the same time. So definitely be looking for that. The other snap Mesenbrink does is this little wrist snap. It got kind of popular from Russians a little bit. Became kind of a YouTube sensation. Fairly simple. Attacks the opponent's wrist. And then, just like with every good snap, drops his head. And he's going to take this wrist out and across to get the guy swinging that direction, and then typically attacks that same side. Hardly ever gets right behind the guy. Here he gets really close. It ends up in a scramble situation. But one other thing to look at here is, especially when this guy's leading this leg, it's going to make the distance this leg's going to travel a lot further, which will spin the guy around. Alright, so he snaps and then takes that wrist all the way across and then hops behind. This is a little more typical of what you'll see out of his wrist snap. Here he gets in on the leg. So again, has his hands pretty much exactly where he wants them. Left hand inside, and then right hand low. That is his attack hand, so he likes to keep it free. Here he's attacking the wrist. Takes a step to the side he's snapping. Head drops super low to swing across. Still has the wrist as he's starting to attack this opposite side already. So his head swings low and out and then starts to come back the other direction. Looks to block behind the armpit with his other hand and catch hip with the wrist snap hand. This guy squares up, so typically he'll drop in somewhere on the guy's legs looking to finish. Really powerful, really effective. Not a lot of guys are with this kind of snap, but he definitely is. Here's one of his short offense or front headlock options that I really like. Gets an underhook, attacks the opposite arm, and kind of whips the guy through. Similar to what you'll see some of the Iranians do. Like Amuzad will do this a lot. Lots of things to look at here. So he transfers from chin to underhook. And then we're going to see him attack this wrist. Now, he's got control of all the guy's posts on this side. So he's got his hand controlled. He's going to be able to move it where he wants. And then this guy's knee is down, which isn't as good of a post as if his foot was up. All right, so we see him hop, just like that kind of whip throw, toward the underhook side. As he hops, he's going to allow this guy's head to kind of come up. And then punches with his hook, pulls their wrist across, and dips his head low, swinging the guy all the way toward the mat. Here you can see his head's all the way down on the mat. All right, starts to chase angle. Now here we're going to see something kind of interesting, where he's going to trap laces over top of the guy's foot right there to kind of prevent him from circling out of this position. Then he replaces wrist with his hand, or excuse me, his wrist hand to the leg. Drops in single, makes it a double, and then ends up finishing. Really nice. Here we're going to see the same kind of option be used. Almost looks to take him to his back a little bit stronger. Ends up kind of scramble situation. Ends up getting the finish, I'm pretty sure, but let's take a look at this whip. So same kind of idea. Has the head covered. Kind of front headlock position. Transfers his right hand to underhook. And instead of controlling wrist here, he's going to have tricep or elbow. Same thing. Gets his body to this side. Goes the whip, drops his head low. And again, you can see that there's just no posts over here anymore for this guy to recover from. Really close to getting to his back. Opts for a limp arm kind of finish option. Guy scrambles out of it, ends up on his legs. So really like this option. Again, I've been seeing the Iranians do it a lot. This is his typical counterattack option. So anytime the guy doesn't get to his legs at all, get his feet back, and then he'll hustle right side first almost every time. And I think it's a combination of he likes outside anchor on that side with his right hand, and most people have a harder time recovering this direction than this direction, either due to drill habits or whatever. But we see him circle toward that right side, give a little snap again. We see that outside hand dropping low, and then cutting across double leg for his finish. Pretty standard. Same kind of counterattack option here. Guy drops, stays on his knees, hustles right side first, and then ends up on the left side. So here we see him give a little head snap, and then looks to hustle toward his right. And then as the guy squares up, he'll just go straight to the leg that the guy squared up with. So really his counterattack options: hustle right, and then adjust to what happens. As for any kind of traditional hip sprawl kind of defense, I mean, we don't see Mesenbrink use it a lot. And I think one of the reasons is guys don't get to his legs very often. Most of the time he's forward pressure. It makes it really hard for guys to shoot. But when guys do get to his legs, he will wrestle from all kinds of positions, and he's extremely hard to score on. All right, so not going to see a whole lot of sprawl from him in general, but you will see a lot of scramble type action, stuff that could put him in some kind of danger. But in general, his defense when guys get to his legs is good, just non-traditional.